Arizona Cardinals and the Chicago Bears, 4 in favor of the Bears. There is a 4.5 out there as well. 43 is our total. Steven, the Bears pissed it away last week. They had a win. Doesn't matter, they covered, but I mean, they had the win, just completely let it go. That said, had played just night and day better over the second half of the season, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. And, love him or hate him, Justin Fields has done some good things. You look last week, and I know you had to be watching the game to have really seen all this stuff, but I had a large bet on the Bears, and so I was paying close attention to the game. Like, Robert Tonyan drops a walk-in touchdown. There was another one that tipped off of one of the other receivers' hands. Like his stats aren't necessarily quite as indicative of. I think he played better than the stats show in all of that. And the Cardinals stuff last week, yeah, they put some yards together, but it was unspectacular for me. So that said, 4 is no good. If this was a 3, I would entertain the Bears, but I don't know. I can't really get there at 4.
I agree with that, but I still wanted to find a way to keep betting on the Bears defense because they have been fantastic. And to me, the spread was too big to do that, but I like the under to continue to support the Bears defense here, under 43.5. Third by EPA, 8th by success rate in the past 2 months, 8 weeks, top 4 against the run, top 10 by dropback EPA. Overall in the season, you may be blind to this if you're just looking at overall numbers because they're only 17th. They're basically around league average in a lot of the advanced metrics, but you got to look deeper than that because they've gotten healthy. They clearly are playing a lot better. And for the haters that are saying, well, look at the schedule, they haven't played anybody all that good. Well, they get Arizona this week. So that seems pretty solid to me. I want to keep back in this Bears defense, and the under is how I'm doing it this week.
Adam, it's, 2 teams with nothing to play for, but kinda, if you're the Cardinals, you have something to play for, which would be to lose, but I know that they're not doing that. What do you say here in this one?
So if you worry about Chicago, you worry about the fact that Justin Fields takes too long with the ball, that he's going to wait for pressure, that et cetera, et cetera. You know who can't rush the passer at all? The Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. You can give Justin Fields 4, 5, 6, 25 seconds to throw back there, and the Arizona Cardinals will still be stuck against the Bears' offensive linemen. So I think if you're worried about Chicago for that reason, you can throw that out. Now, you would look at the other side and say, okay, well, what is it that you would be concerned about with the Cardinals offense? Well, I might be concerned, hey, Kyler Murray's back. Dig into the Kyler Murray stats a little bit and see the fact that he has been, by multiple metrics, the worst quarterback in football over the second half of the season. He's 10% below expected on completions right now. That's just him. And granted, I know he's not throwing to Jerry Rice and Chris Carter, but at the same time, he himself just has not been good. I know the offensive line isn't good, et cetera, et cetera. So then I would say, okay, well, Arizona's actually run the ball okay. You know who you can't really run the ball against? The Chicago Bears. Mm-hmm. So I think the same way, Matt, that you talked about all of your handicap on the Lions being, okay, I would worry about X, Y, and Z, especially with Jared Goff. All the things that I think could trouble the Bears, the Cardinals can't do. I think his number's pretty short. I think anything out to 6, 6.5 is probably comfortable on Chicago. But let's get a little weird. Let's have some fun.
I like it. Yeah.
It's the holiday season. Do you really want to sit around sweating out a -4 on the Bears? No, you don't. You want to be sitting to yourself, let's make a little cash. Let's look at Cardinals team totals, because I do not believe the Arizona Cardinals are going to be able to score in this game. If you want to talk about what is really good is the Chicago defense over the last few weeks. Pick any number you want. They're top 8. And especially when it comes to rush success and rush EPA against, they are in where you want them to be. So you want to get super, super weird? I can't endorse this, but Cardinals to score under 9.5 is 6-1. That's too much. You can kind of futz your way into getting there. Mm-hmm. What about 10.5? Is 10 a reasonable total for the Arizona Cardinals? Is 10 a reasonable total more than 25% of the time for the Arizona Cardinals? Yeah, I have it that way. And they're plus 390 to go under 10.5. You feel uncomfortable with that? You want to build in a second touchdown? Even if you want to get them at 14, under 14.5 is 2-1. I don't think the Cardinals are scoring 2 touchdowns in this game.
I can tell you this. The only thing is for sure, and they might not be good, and they might not be good targets, and they might not be receptions. But boy, Trey McBride is going to get peppered, and we know that for sure. Kyler Murray is in full-on man love with him in this game.
Is. But that's one of, thank you for bringing that up, Matt, because that's one of the angles that I forgot to get into. They made the strangest investments in the world in the offseason, did the Chicago Bears, in fortifying that linebacking core, right? This is the game where it might actually matter against Trey McBride.
Yes, it really, it should. This is like, you look at McBride with Kyler in there. 14 targets, 9 targets, 7, 9, 9, 11. Like he loves him some Trey McBride. Like that is for sure. But yeah, it would be Bears or pass for me for sure. Maybe I'll just take like a Bears team total and just feel good about that, and then just move on with the game.